What's up YouTube, Alex and Matt from Team Test coming at you today with Matt's Evilswarm deck profile. Let's get going.
Alright guys, so as I said before, I've said many times before, Evilswarm is a wonderful deck for new players, old players, everybody basically, because you all should be playing this deck. It's so good, so budget, so everything you could possibly want in a deck. And it's annoying too, so it makes good friends, yeah?
Of course, Matt.
That's what annoying decks do.
Yeah, I love you. I love that deck. Oh.
Yeah. So, to start things off, let's start off with this chubby bunny. Unfortunately, Konami was not based in that they did not bring him back to 2 or 3 or 4. But, you know, he's still good with his friends, the Triple Vanillas. 1950, a very unique number, allows you to get over many normal summons, like almost everything. Next we have, of course, our Triple Caster. It's an extra normal summon. Its effect can't really be negated unless your opponent has skill drain out, which got limited, which is really nice for this deck. Basically the best card in the deck. And then we have the most clutch card in the deck, Karikion. You want to save these for your late game. They are 1 card XYZ. Very simple, very straightforward. Good for advantage. You have Mandragora, triple again. It's really good in the early game for generating more advantage because it special summons itself to the field if your opponent has monster advantage over you. So that makes for more quick Xyzes if you don't happen to have a caster. And finally, we have triple Thunderbird. Thunderbird's a really good card because it floats itself basically, and it's really annoying against some rogue matchups like Chainburn.
Yeah, basically you want to have T-Bird versus a lot of rogue matchups because back row, we aren't sure how meta back row will be, where I'm pretty sure that Satellar's are going to run it and Burning Abyss might switch to heavy back row format again. But also against like your rogue matchups, you want to have Thunderbird because the deck itself like counters a lot of the meta, so you're using these to try and counter the stuff that isn't meta.
Yeah, and especially because it comes back with a very hefty 1950, just like Heliotrope. So it provides you with a constant field presence that can allow you to maintain advantage over your opponent and never really get behind in the duel. So that wraps up the monsters. Not too many and not anything really special. For siding out, I would consider a Mandragora or a Thunderbird if it fits the matchup, but it really depends. If I find I don't need them, then I'll side them out. But everything else pretty much has to stay in. So, start off the spells. Triple Pandemic. Again, it's very matchup dependent, but it's one of the better cards in the deck because it provides blanket coverage for pretty much all of your monsters. I mean, what else can you ask it to do? It really does almost everything. It's really great against like Fire Lake or whatever, Icarus attacks, whatever.
Forbidden Lance for your whole board.
Oh my god, yeah.
And no downside. Good card.
Yeah. Then we have the Triple Rhoda. I know people disagree with running Triple Rhoda, but personally I really like it because it almost guarantees opening it with a caster because you're basically running 3 copies of caster, which is absolutely amazing. And a deck int too, which adds to consistency. I run double MST because I'm fairly opposed to triple MST, just because I hate top decking MST when you really need a Karikion, but that's just me. This deck doesn't need as many MSTs because it has things like Pandemic to protect yourself, so you can save your MSTs and not blindly use them and instead use them on something valuable like Scout.
Yeah, that's a pretty good way of putting it.
1 Regeki, self-explanatory. Back in the old days when Dark Hole was the best destruction card, you would have to exhaust a Pandemic to protect your own monsters, which is basically Regeki, but now that Regeki's here, you don't even have to do that. Book of Moon, greatest utility card in the game. You can use it for so many different things. Get yourself out of predicaments everywhere.
Book of Moon is, I will call it, I have called it the skill spell card. Like, good players can find so many ways of using Book of Moon, everyone should be running it.
Yeah. I mean, what? Stop attacks, stop effects, stop
XYZs or synchros.
I
I remember in my top 4, a guy was about to synchro on me. I flipped down his tuner. He's like, well, I can't do shit now. Then I managed to win the game after that.
Yep, really good card. Soul Charge at 1. You know,
Matt, it's called Skill Charge.
skill charge at 1 because it requires lots of skill, especially in the late game. I mean, especially with Evilswarms, with your stun potential, you should be at a life point advantage, so this will be a very useful card for you in the late game. Double Kaiser, because advantage, this format. Everything is about advantage, and if you maintain advantage over your opponent and you have a solid back row to go with the Kaiser, they really can't do anything.
Also, Kaiser just works as like MST bait because it's like, okay, you don't kill my Kaiser, you can't like play a big boss monster. You kill my Kaiser, I probably have a better trap card set.
Yeah,
anyway.
exactly. With the amount of back row that this deck runs, it's just they have to choose something. And finally, in my opinion, what is the best effect negation right now is still Forbidden Chalice because it's damage step activation, and it's also useful for its extra 400 that it gives sometimes. Like you really need it to get over, I don't know, whatever you need it for. That one shit all card that you're getting annoyed by.
Yeah.
Because it can help you get over Window with just a normal summon.
Yeah, because Winda is truly a problem for most decks, but Evilswarm is not so much.
It's kind of annoying though, but. And traps, mostly one-ofs, breakthrough skill. It's also a very good complement to Chalice. I just use it at 1 instead of 3 Chalice because sometimes its main phase activation is useful when you banish it from your own grave. So I just find the 2-to-1 ratio to be very nice because they're both situational. One bottomless, that's pretty self-explanatory because it removes a lot of big threats before they hit the... Oh, use this against Cleese.
Cleese, Pendulum for 5? Goodbye, 5.
The Salt. Compulse is still a really good card. Sometimes it can be sided out actually, like against Cleese, it really doesn't matter.
No.
But against Shadal's Burning Abyss, even Necros is pretty good, yeah. Torrential saves you for a turn or two, so it's a good card. Especially with Pandemic, protect your own monsters. It's like another Raigeki, but it's a trap card this time. Solemn Warning, good card. 2000 is a pretty heavy cost, but unlike Cleese, we're not dealing with life point issues in this deck.
Nope.
Soul Drain is a card that hits a lot of meta decks because of its graveyard and banish ban on effects. So it's really helpful when dealing with problem cards from like Burning Abyss or Aqua Mirrors or whatever. Macrocosmos, it's situational against the matchup as is everything, but I find it has a positive effect on more of a negative effect on your opponent than it does on you. So it's a really good card because it hits Burning Abyss, Shadal's, Satellar's, even Necros a little bit. And finally we have our Infestation Infection, which is our utility trap that allows us to toolbox for whatever we want, most likely Karakion and in some cases Thunderbird. So that wraps up the main deck. Now let's move on to the extra deck. Going by attack points, we start off with that young Gaga Cowboy.
800
Clutch, yeah.
800 burn, win the game.
800
Good
per
card.
game. I can't tell you how many times I've finished off an attack and my opponent has like 500 life points left, and then I just Gaga them. It's game. My Stroke, it's a meh card. I mean, there are better options, but you can sometimes use him.
Is my stroke a him or a her? Never figured it out.
That's definitely him.
If you say so.
It's my Stroke. My Stroke.
Maestro.
Jin. Jin means devil. Evilswarm Exciton Knight. He gets protected by your
Is that
Pandemic
actually?
too. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Jin means devil.
Okay.
Exciton or Exciton, but it's definitely Exciton. I don't care what you say. It's not Exciton, because Exciton sounds stupid. But Evilswarm Exciton Knight, yeah, self-explanatory. Really good card still, because, I mean, this card alone wins you a Noble Knight matchup.
Yeah, and it's I can't tell you how frustrating it is as Noble Knights just get Exciton. You're like, okay.
There goes my combo. There goes all my hard work.
Yeah, gone.
Pastel.
Good card. Deals with
Such a good card.
Deals with boss monsters.
Yep.
It's like a generic, not as good Tiramisu.
Yeah, it's really good though. Recently, Shark has lost some favor to Castel, but I still find it as a very good card because it wins in some situations over Castel.
Basically, in a non Shaddoll or Burning Abyss boss monster, 1-on-1's better.
Yep. And we have the Corn Dude, just for that more burn and that non-destruction removal. Ragnar Zero will win you a lot of matchups because...
If you want an instant win Fire Fist matchup, you play
Oh
Ragnar
yeah,
Zero.
oh, definitely. Dark Rebellion. He's a big boy.
Biggest beater.
Biggest boy ever. Key Beetle, I found that it's a lot harder to use him well, especially now that Castel is everywhere. But, you know, sometimes you just gotta protect that one card and it's gonna win you the game when they've already exhausted all their possible excuses that could kill the Key Beetle lock. So it's a good card still. As one of our viewers recommended, I put in Evilswarm Nightmare, and it definitely has done work for me because it's like a Book of Moon upon summon. It's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Thanatos also wins you your Fire Fist matchup if it happens to come along, or basically any... especially the Infernord matchup, yeah, definitely. I mean, not a Volcanic matchup, definitely, yeah. The monster effects, man.
Yeah, screw Volcanics.
Bahamut, one of my favorite cards because I took Eric's Zen Mines yesterday and it's glorious.
Yeah, I get a 1-on-1 for the deck.
But you get to attack with it.
Correction, get a big guy.
Yeah. And double Ophion because there's simply no space or no reason to run 3 anymore. And yeah, 2 is good enough. I mean, really? Do you ever use 3?
If you go through 2 Ophions and you aren't winning, then you probably lost the duel anyway.
Yes. And let's go through the side deck quickly. Flying Sea for those Xyzes, especially the Burning Abyss matchup. Or the Settler, of course. For them combo-centric decks like the Necros. Prohibition is still an okay card. Not as many decks are focused on that one king card like Yamato. I remember those days. But if you call like what, Scout? Or if you call Dante?
They can have a hard time. However, I will say Virgil tends to help out with that issue.
Yeah. And
Rockstar, the burning.
Memory of an Adversary, just because I like stealing monsters a lot.
It's honestly, I mean,
It's such a troll card.
We should make a top 5 like underrated traps, and this card has to be on there. Like it's like deep prison, but I think it's better in some situations.
Yeah, in some decks, especially because Evilswarm, you can afford the damage most of the time.
Mm-hmm. Really underrated trap card.
Light Imprisoning for them annoying Settlers, mostly, I guess.
The Nutella Knights.
Oh, and Burning Abyss to an extent, I guess.
Yeah.
Because they're Xyzes.
Yeah, because they use both.
One Eradicator Epidemic because I don't, just don't let your opponent play sometimes. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
And finally, we have Double Mind Crush. Kaiba, open your mind!
I will keep saying this until the end of time in all of our videos. Mind Crush needs to be a trap card everyone has at least in their side deck, if not the main deck. It's just, I mean, good decks will let you know what they have, and you can usually make an educated guess.
And even if they're not showing you, you can still activate it. Even if you call wrong, which is not that likely nowadays because people like to have the resources in hand. Mm-hmm. Even if you call wrong, you activate the second one, and after you've already seen their hand and get something really valuable out of there.
Mm-hmm. Just being able to see the hand at times is worth the name.
Yes, just so you know what plays they're capable of making, so you can play around that. So now that we've come to the end of the video, you may be going, oh wait, he only played 39 cards in the main deck and 14 in the extra. What's up with that? Well, no, that's not true. I am Asian. I do know how to count. I'm really good at math. The reason I wanted to save these for the end because it's a special tech choice. It's in the main deck 1 Mass Change 2, and in the extra 1 Mass Hero Dark Law. Now, Mass Change 2 allows access to Dark Law out of any of your normal monsters, your level 4 monsters, which is really a really great opportunity to, bring out another anti-meta option. It's 2400 and it banishes banishes.
You main deck a macro, and then you extra deck and main deck a one-sided macro as well.
Yep. He's just really good for, those matchups. Mass Change 2 can be sided out, of course, during the matchups that, Dark Law doesn't do anything in, but it's good to have. I wouldn't put it at more than 2, though, because it does eat up your hand, which Evilswarms do not like. And this deck isn't heroes, it's Evilswarms. Come on, guys.
Yeah, it's basically the same logic as a Burning Abyss tech, where it's like, okay, I run Dark, I can make Dark Law, so I can make room for one of each in my main and extra deck, respectively, and it can usually help you out with a lot of matchups.
So that was my Evilswarm. Don't feel free to comment and recommend anything, or just tell us if you'd like to see anything special. I'll definitely be doing a lot of duels with this because I feel like it can be a pretty good deck this format.
And let us know how you like Matt coming back to us finally after this little hiatus. All right, guys, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe, and let us know what you think we should do on the last few days of the Fortnight. And this is Team Satisfactory, out.